5 celebrities Mr. Rock likes and hates. If your host Mr. Rock, we got 50 celebrities. So at the end of the day, we're going to get things rolling in just a bit. Just got to make sure that we're live streaming. So looks like we are. Okay. So yeah, let's get into the list. We're going to start off with like, and then make our way down to dislike. Because like, I actually do know a lot of these people, so at the end of the day, I can literally give some more insight. So we're going to start off with number 25. Is my mom, Chrissy Rebel, in a way. What can I not say about my mom that I haven't already said it already? You know, like she did Walker Texas Ranger and everything else. Nash Bridges, commercials, movies, music videos. She had to be on this list. You know, you gotta put your mom on the list if she's a celebrity. Number 24. Tia Carrere, the relic hunter. I got to meet Tia Carrere once, and that was thanks to my mom. I thought she was freaking insanely hot and everything else. I got to meet her back in like 2000, 2001 in a way. And no, probably 01. I think it was 01. Not 2000, 2001. I got to meet her. And yeah, I thought she was insanely hot and everything else. And only if I was a bit older, I would have probably asked for a number. But yeah. Number 23, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, I met a few times. Great guy. Nothing to really talk down about. I always felt that he was a boy trapped in a man's body. Pretty much, you know. So, yeah. That's how I always thought about Michael. And he was always a great guy. He always give me a hug a couple times, you know. But besides that, you know. Do I think the rumors are true about him? No. So, sorry. Number 22, Stephen Percy from Rat. Lead singer of Rat. I met him a couple times at conventions, and he's always been such a freaking nice, hearted guy, you know. Always came up to me, always used to freaking give me that freaking secret handshake. I can't do it, but there was a secret handshake between me and him. In a way, if we ever seen each other, we'll do the secret handshake, and yeah, and then we'll literally hug each other out. And yeah, Stephen Percy from Rat, love him. Number 21, Elvira, Cassandra Peterson. What not to say about her? Freaking smoking hot. I met her a few times at conventions and like Comic-Cons and everything else. Always nice to be around, you know. Always takes time to literally care about people, not literally freaking brush them off like some celebrities do. You know, you can actually have a decent conversation with her. One of my mom's close friends actually is Cassandra Peterson, so big shout out to her. So yeah. Number 20, Dee Snider. Oh man, can I ever tell you about Dee Snider and the barbecues that we used to have, man? I remember going to his place for a barbecue, and yeah, because frickin' he used to like do those frickin' sexual jokes, you know. He'll be like, "Oh, I know you want my sausage. You can't have my sausage, but I know you want my sausage. You could touch my sausage eventually, for your mom or her, but not you guys." Because that's my sausage. And I remember him doing jokes like that all the time. And I was just let's sit there and fucking laugh my ass off. I'll be like, seriously? You know. So, yeah, number 20 is Dee Snider. I love that guy, man. Smart, intelligent. There's nothing wrong about that guy. Number 19, Robert Halford. I met Rob Halford only like once. Like actually got to meet him. I've been to concerts like twice, so I've literally seen him live like 3 times. But meet him, I only got to meet him once, and He wasn't even with Judas Priest at the time. He was with his own band, I think, Halford, at the time. And I remember meeting Rob Halford, and I was blown away. You know, it was like meeting your idol. Because I've been a Judas Priest fan since 1993, and when I got to meet him in literally like 2001, it was literally like eye opener, you know. So, nice guy, very spoken man. Will take time to literally tell you stories and anything else that you want, you know. And always has time for celebrities and everything else. And nothing bad to say about him. Okay, number 18. I never met him, but I love his movies. Robert De Niro. Never met Robert De Niro. I wish I have. It just never came around, to be honest. But I love Robert De Niro movies. You know, Casino, Goodfellas, Raging Bull. You know, The Deer Hunter. Like, he had some freaking phenomenal movies, and I just love Robert De Niro as an actor. Number 17, never met him either. Al Pacino. Never met Al Pacino. I wish I have, because Scarface is literally one of my top movies of all time. You know, 1983 and 1932 versions. But I never met Al Pacino. Wish I have. I had a chance to meet him once, but I got sick that day. So, I guess that's just the way how things go. Because I remember straight up he was like at some freaking like LA convention or something like that, and we were supposed to go out and fly out and go down there, and he was supposed to be there, and I just got sick, so it just never happened. But yeah, number 16, Sandra Bullock. I have met Sandra Bullock. A very nice person. Nothing bad to say about her, in a way. Like I said, she was freaking hot as well back in the 90s, especially in the movie Speed. Whew. Man, the 90s chicks were so fucking smoking hot, I gotta admit. I don't know, in movies, you know. But yeah, Sandra Bullock, nice woman, very kind, very hearted. Never had anything bad to say about her. You know, now her husband, on the other hand, is on the shit list. In a way, her ex-husband is on the shit list. But at the end of the day, I'll get around to that. But her, on the other hand, always nice person. Number 15, Tina Turner. As I said before, Tina Turner was my babysitter and was my mom's babysitter. She both babysat us when we were kids. I have nothing bad to say about Tina Turner, you know. So, yeah. I still miss her to this day, you know. I still remember when we used to sing in the bathroom with the hairbrush. Simply the best. Better than all the rest. Like, I remember doing that with Tina Turner, and like, it was just a blast to be around her, you know. Number 14, Paul Stanley. Ugh. I just went to go see Kiss last year, back in November, and I got Paul Stanley not even 2 feet away from me. But like, me and Paul, like back in the day, used to hang out here and there, you know. Like, I used to hang out with Gene Simmons because my mom was friends with frickin', what's her name, Shannon? Yeah, Gene Simmons' wife, Shannon, I think it was. Yeah. Just too many names to remember, but yeah. But yeah, my mom literally was friends with her, always has been, you know. Yeah, Shannon Tweed, that's it, Shannon Tweed. I was trying to remember the name. But yeah, my mom and her have been friends, so I got to hang out with Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley and the rest of the members of Kiss from time to time, you know. But Paul was always a nice guy, you know. Hanged out with his daughters as well when I was a kid. So now they're grown up to be, I think, models or something like that last time I heard. But yeah. But That also goes to also another Kiss Army brother. He knows. He knows. He might be watching. Good old Satan 666. Sometimes lazy, sometimes not. But yeah. Number 13, John Kay. Lead singer of Steppenwolf, John Kay. I actually met John Kay literally 2 or 3 months before he died, which is fucking mind blowing to me. Because I remember hearing about on the news. I remember my dad crying, in a way, and my dad barely ever cries, to be honest. But I remember my dad crying when John Kay got announced dead, and I said, "Dad, didn't we just see that guy literally like 2, 3 months ago?" He's all like, "Yeah, we seen him at his house and everything else, and he seemed perfectly normal." And then, sure enough, he was gone. And what can you say about Steppenwolf? That hasn't already been said. Legendary career, Magic Carpet Ride, Born to Be Wild. You know, the '60s were pretty much dominated by Steppenwolf. So, where are we? Number 12, a president of the United States, Bill Clinton. I remember when I went to Bill Clinton at the White House. Yes, I've been to the White House. My mom literally asked me, "Hey, would you want to go to Washington, D.C.?" I said, "For what? Well, why would I want to go to Washington, D.C.? I want you to meet my friend." I had no idea who she was talking about. NCCR? Hey, Strive. Hope all is well. But yeah. But yeah, I got to meet Bill Clinton at the White House and everything else. I got to literally walk around when Bill Clinton was president. I think this was literally in 1999, I think it was. And it was pretty amazing because, like, you got to see the ins and outs of the White House and how many people have, especially Canadians. It was a rare freaking thing for me, anyways. Especially for me, anyways, to literally walk around the White House. Hillary wasn't there, so if you're gonna say, "Did you meet Hillary Clinton?" No, I didn't meet her. She wasn't there, but Bill was there. And I remember shaking Bill Clinton's hand, and it was quite a unique freaking thing. Yeah, I know who Clearwater Revival is. Strive. I know who CCR is. But yeah. But yeah. But that memory will always literally hold dear to my heart because at the end of the day, he was the first president I ever met. Like, yeah, I met Donald Trump as well, but he wasn't president at the time. So at the end of the day, I don't count that. But, yeah. Number 11, Rick James. Ugh. I met Rick James before he died. And it was probably about a year before he died, and man, was he in a rough freaking spot. I didn't even know who he was. That's how bad it was. My dad had to tell me that was Rick James, and I had no idea that was the same guy that I was listening to, literally dancing to Super Freak and Give It To Me Babe and all that stuff. I was like, that's the guy? And I even said, "What happened to you?" And I remember Rick James telling me this freaking line. He used it on the Chappelle Show. He said, "Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Maybe you should stay away from it." But at the end of the day, yeah. But when I met Rick James, he told me stories about the Mary Jane sisters and all that stuff, and how it was literally dealing with Eddie Murphy, and and I got to literally hang out with like a whole bunch of people, and yeah, Rick James was amazing to freaking meet, So yeah. Number 10, Kelly Osbourne. What can I say about Kelly Osbourne? She knew me. She knew me when I was born. There's not too many people that know me when I was born, to be honest, but she knew me when I was pretty much like 1, 2 years old or something like that. All the way through. And I even dated her for about 3 weeks. It didn't go too well because she's a kinky person, and I'm really not that into that in a way. But yeah. But big shout out to Kelly. I haven't talked to her in almost a year. Hope she's doing well. Last time I talked to Kelly was probably when her child was born or something like that. I know she recently had a kid with the Slipknot singer, Slipknot guy or whatever. I forget his name, Sid or something. But yeah. Uh, Number 9, Christina Aguilera. Ugh. I remember literally hanging out with Christina Aguilera and my mom back in the day. My mom pretty much put Christina Aguilera not on the map necessarily, but made her into more of a star in a way. Because I remember my mom telling her, maybe you gotta cut the Mickey Mouse shit and literally get down and dirty if you want to make it in Hollywood. That was my mom's line in a way to her. And sure enough, Christina Aguilera has a hit song called Dirty, literally like a year later. And I literally said, wait, didn't she literally tell her that? And yeah, I'm not going to say she put her on the map, but kind of guided her in the way. Because technically, if you don't know, Christina Aguilera was part of the Mickey Mouse Club back in, I think, the 90s with Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, and everyone else. And the reason why Christina Aguilera got help from my mom is because my mom actually knew Christina Aguilera's parents at the time. I can't remember their names, don't get me wrong. I'm not really good with names half the time. I actually have to look half the shit up half the time. Because at the end of the day, like I said, back when I was a kid, it was literally more saying goodbye than saying hello to people. So, yeah, number 8, Lemmy. Oh man, if there was one person that I wish I could freaking sit and drink with, Fred Demolisher, yeah, he did. But at the end of the day, that's the way how things work. But like I said, Lemmy, like the Airheads movie said, Lemmy is God. And I actually had to sit down and drink with Lemmy in a way. I think I was about 18 or 19 years old when I literally freaking sat down, had a freaking Jack and Coke with Lemmy, and he told me stories about Jimi Hendrix and everything else, because he was Jimi Hendrix's manager. I don't know how many people knew that, but he was. And he told me stories about literally getting up at 3 a.m. to get Jimi Hendrix fucking morphine and cocaine and heroin and everything else. And I was just be like, holy shit. 3 a.m.? He's like, yeah. And he always wanted his fucking guitar. I have to literally go from taxi to taxi just to literally get his fucking guitar from one place to the next. And I said, wow. And he's like, well, technically, that's just the price that you pay for rock and roll, That's just the price you gotta pay. Sometimes you gotta get up early in the morning to literally crack the early bird and literally wake up and you rock and roll all night and you party every freaking day. You keep doing it every freaking way. And I remember those were his exact words. I said, I'm taking that to heart, man. Number 7, Ozzy Osbourne. What can I say about Ozzy that hasn't been already said about the guy? The guy was fucking crazy half the time. I'm not joking. I fucking remember fucking hanging out with Ozzy and everything else, and he was fucking crazy sometimes. But he always made me laugh. I'll never forget the McDonald's trip when we were in a limo and he tried to order a quarter pounder of cheese and he couldn't say it properly. So I'm like, and the lady's like, what the hell are you saying? And I just literally just said, oh my goodness, but yeah. But Ozzy was amazing. There's no doubts that I can say. Number 6, Chuck Norris. I already talked about Chuck Norris on the Chuck Norris video. You could go watch that, but Chuck Norris also lost his mom just recently. So sorry about that. I did literally post on Instagram a message saying about sorry for your loss and everything else. and told him about the story how I thought that my mom died on on the freaking thing and how he was there, and I said straight up, I give you big hugs, you know, for what you did literally 25 years ago. You know, when I thought I lost my mom, he was there to give me a hug, you know. And the stories are true. You don't F with Chuck, you know. So, number 5, Don Johnson. Oh, I already talked about the John Johnson story. How my mom literally was on Ash Bridges and everything else. Such a nice guy. Kind-hearted freaking individual. But the guy made mistakes as well. I'm not going to lie and say Don Johnson hasn't made mistakes. He's been married like, what, 7, 8 times? You know. But at the end of the day, we all make mistakes in life. It's the way how you bounce back and get through is what's going to keep you going. And that's something I always learn from like Don Johnson, every other individual that's on this list that pretty much kept on keeping on, you know. Number 4, Alice Cooper. Now, if it wasn't for Alice Cooper, I probably wouldn't be the man that I am today, to be honest. Alice Cooper pretty much shaped me up. He was kind of like my mentor. You know, being on the road with my dad, Alice Cooper, the guys, the boys, and everything else. Looking after his snake. You know, making money selling his comics. Literally hanging out with Alice Cooper on the tour bus. Like, I'm thankful, I'm grateful that I actually got to meet him, hang out with him. And anyone that actually has met Alice Cooper, in a way, just be thankful that there's still a rocker out there, still kicking it at freaking like 7 years old. Because there isn't that many left. You know? So, number 3, Tommy Lee. Oh, what can I say about Tommy Lee? My video game buddy. That's what I'll call him. My video game buddy. Back in the 90s, I used to bring my freaking N64 on the road sometimes. And I'll hook it up, you know, to a tour bus. Tommy Lee would come in and be like, hey man, you want to play some Mrrock? You want to play some GoldenEye? You want to play some Diddy Kong Racing? You want to play wrestling games? He didn't care what game it was. You know. Of course, he'll get stoned out of his fucking mind, but we'll be sitting there fucking playing video games constantly. You know, that was just our freaking thing back in the day. And it was so freaking cool to literally have a rock star as a video game buddy, you know, at the time. And I can hold that to my grave, you know, that I played video games with fucking Tommy Lee. And yes, you kicked my ass in Mario Kart. I'm not gonna lie, that freaking balloon fucking blast fucking shit. But at the end of the day, when it came to the actual race, I kicked your ass. So, yeah. Number 2, Tupac Shakur. You know, I already talked about the Tupac Shakur story in my video. But what a freaking nice man he is. Or was, you know. But when I met Tupac in the early 90s in a way, you know, he was there looking out for me pretty much. Sort of being like my guardian angel. Because at the end of the day, who knows what the hell could have happened. I was on the streets of Toronto waiting for my dad to fucking put a drum set in a fucking vehicle. He was literally backstage and he told me to wait outside in the freaking cold. You know, in Toronto when I met Tupac. And, you know, he was there to literally talk to me, keep me entertained, you know, and everything else. And number 1, the biggest, baddest party fucking animal I've ever met in my life. Diamond Dave, David Lee Roth. Holy shit, I could tell you stories about this fucking guy for over 10 hours, probably. How he used to freaking get me in clubs, how he used to freaking get me everywhere. I didn't need ID, I didn't need freaking anything. I could be I could be freaking 10, 11 years old. I'll be going to strip clubs, bars, freaking anywhere. I'll just go with Diamond Dave, and he'll just go literally be like, "Hey, you want a shot? Here you go. Take a shot. Hey, you want some Coke? Here's some Coke. Hey, you want some this? Here's some this." He didn't give a damn, because that's the way how things were back in the day. It wasn't literally like controversial like it is today. Back then, it was a common thing. You want to do cocaine off a girl's ass when you're freaking 12 years old? Go do it. You know, that's just the way how things were. And that's just the way how life was. And yeah, Diamond Dave was the craziest, most freaking son of a bitch I ever met. I would say Diamond Dave was probably crazier than Motley Crue. Because there was times where I didn't even know where the fuck we were. But at the end of the day, we had an awesome time together. But yeah, that's my list of top 25 I like. Now we're going to go to the top 25 I hate. In a way. So, starting off with number 25 on the ones I hate. Bruce Springsteen. I'm not a big fan of the boss. In a way. It's just I don't like his music. I don't hate the guy personally. I just don't like his music in a way. In a way. You know, like Dancing in the Dark, Born in the USA. I wasn't a big fan of Bruce Springsteen. And I know technically a lot of people like him, and he's been around for frickin' 50 plus years. But at the end of the day, I just never been a big fan of Bruce Springsteen. Have I met Bruce Springsteen? No, I haven't. So I can't really talk bad about the guy because I never met him. But just don't like his music. That's why he's so low. Number 24, Vince Neil. Like I said, I do like some members of the Motley Crue, but Vince Neil, ugh, he's a fucking jerk in real life. Just to give you a little heads up. And anyone that's really sat and really talked to Vince Neil would understand that. He literally thinks that he's the drama queen, if I will say it. And yeah, that's just the way how he is. And my dad always hated Vince Neil because he killed his freaking close friend in that car accident in the 80s. My dad told me the story about it, and I said, "Seriously, that was your friend?" He's like, "Yeah." And I fucking hated Vince Neil. I always wanted to punch him in the freaking face. And I said, "Well, he's right there." You know, yeah, that's, if you weren't here, I would have done it. But since you're here, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, my dad didn't like Vince Neil. I didn't like Vince Neil. My mom doesn't really like Vince Neil. He was just kind of a jerk. Number 23, Drew Barrymore. Now, I didn't like Drew Barrymore in the 80s, like E.T. and stuff like that. I'm not a big E.T. fan. I get that the movie was popular in the 80s and everything else. But I wasn't born in the 80s. I was born in 1990. But, you know, I just never been a big E.T. fan. And, you know, Drew Barrymore got famous over time with Charlie's Angels and other movies like that. And I just thought to myself, she's not really good as an actress, is she? Don't get me wrong. I have met Drew Barrymore, I think, once. I think I met her once. I'm trying to remember where I met her, but I'm pretty sure I met her once. And I just haven't been a big fan of her, to be honest. So, yeah. Number 22, Ellen DeGeneres, or however you say her name, Ellen. I'm just going to say Ellen. I don't know how to say her last name too well. So, yeah, I've just never been a big fan of Ellen, in a way. You know, like when she had the talk show, I used to literally know girls that used to watch that fucking shit. And I would sit there and go, oh my goodness. She's a wannabe Oprah. That's it. That's why I looked at her as a wannabe Oprah. You know, and it just got to the point where it's just like, click, you know. I never found her funny, never cared about her. But yeah. Number 21, Kelsey Grammer. Like when Kelsey Grammer did Frasier, I was okay. But not with him. But then he came back to do Frasier again, the reboot. I tried to watch that stupid show. Ugh. It felt like I got kicked in the fucking balls in a way, trying to watch that freaking thing. All the humor, everything's gone from the TV show. It's just like, what made Frasier good in literally the 90s is gone in that show, and that's why I don't like it. It's nothing against the guy, it's nothing against him. It's literally, you know, I understand that you want to make money. I get it. But did you really have to bring that show back and literally downgrade it? You know? So, yeah. Number 20. As I said before, Sandra Bullock's piece of shit ex-husband's on this list. Jesse James. Can't stand Jesse James. Fuck, was he a piece of shit. Anyway, I've met him once and I literally wanted to knock his fucking ass out. You know. I remember technically, straight up that I was at some freaking club and Jesse James was there. And he had the common courtesy to literally freaking, just slap a random girl's ass. In a way. For no reason. And I said straight up, what are you slapping her ass for? What's your problem? I said, you're fucking married to Sandra Bullock. What are you slapping girls' asses for? What, she doesn't fucking mind. I said, you're a married man. You know, don't go around slapping behind if you're a freaking married man. You know, it's common courtesy. And I get what he was trying to do. Don't get me wrong. The guy was a fucking pig. In a way. He wanted to literally take the chick back to with Sandra and literally try to hook up a threesome. I ain't stupid. You know, I've been around the fucking block as well. I know how freaking celebrities work. You know. And yeah. Jesse James was just ugh. Number 19, Bill Cosby. Oh, what can I say about Bill Cosby? And this is before the controversial fucking shit ever happened. So before the controversial, I never liked Bill Cosby. You know, I never liked the Cosby Show. The Cosby Show to me was just, that's all I can say about the Cosby Show. You know, and then technically, there was one movie that he did that fucking ruined his whole entire career for me, and that was Ghost Dad. Go watch Ghost Dad if you haven't seen it, and then tell me that you still like Bill Cosby. I guarantee you, you'll already feel like you're dead inside as well. Number 18, Mila Kunis. Now, Mila Kunis, I'm not a huge fan of. I know she was on That 70s Show playing Jackie and everything else. And she also played a whole bunch of other roles, like Meg Griffin on Family Guy. I just never been a big fan of hers. You know. And I don't know. I also thought that she could easily have been recasted on That 70s Show easily. Because she was the character that technically could have gone separate. She lied. First, she lied about her age. I don't know if you knew this, guys, but she did lie about her age to get on the show. You know, she said she was literally 18 years old. Meanwhile, she was literally like, what was it, 17 or 16 years old at the time, or something like that. But she first lied about her age to get on a TV show, became famous off that TV show, and everything else. Now, I don't know about Bonnie Turner and the other production crew of That 70s Show, but if I was the production crew of that company, you know, if you're doing casting freaking things, you literally could get in big trouble. And I'm shocked that Mila Kunis got to keep her job. And That 70s Show literally went on for literally like 6 seasons. Because technically, I know for very freaking well that if you literally try to put that shit off at like CBS or NBC, the show would have been canceled. Because they do not like freaking underage shit like that. They check everything, they literally and everything else. So she got lucky that it was Fox. Because Fox, on the other hand, they're more lenient back in the day. That's all I'm going to say. I've heard a lot of things about Fox. Number 17, Betty White. I'm just not a big Betty White fan. I know how she got famous, and that's one of the reasons why I don't really like her. I know how she got famous. She got famous because she married the freaking password guy. I forget his name, but she was married to the password guy. She got famous through him because she was on a few episodes of Password way back in the day. And yeah, I just never really cared for Betty White. I liked her attitude. Don't get me wrong. I liked her attitude. Just how she overcame herself. It's just if she would have literally became famous her own way and actually stayed like around, then yeah, I would actually not mind her too much. But knowing that she literally got famous for her husband in a way, kind of literally just gives that sour taste in my mouth. Like she didn't really earn it, you know. So number 16, Matthew Perry. I was never a big fan of Friends, and Chandler, in a way, rest in peace, Matthew Perry, but at the end of the day, I just never really cared about Matthew Perry, you know, and that's the honest truth. I thought he was a bad actor, hands up, and yeah, like I watched some of Matthew Perry's movies, and I literally said, why? And not only that, but what literally cut the cake with me with Matthew Perry was when he literally tried to redo The Odd Couple. I don't remember what year it was, but it was literally in 2010s. I watched one episode of The Odd Couple thinking, well, technically, maybe give it a shot, you know. And what the fuck was that? Like I grew up on The Odd Couple, like what was his name? Tony Randall and I forgot the Oscar guy. I forget his name, but yeah, I grew up on those guys, And then technically, I literally hear that there's a new Odd Couple. Yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. What a total fucking disgrace that you did, Matthew Perry, to that show. Like, what the fuck were you on? To literally say that you're gonna fucking do a TV show and then totally ruin the whole entire career of that TV show. So that's the reason why I don't like him. Number 15, Will Smith. Now, I've always hated Will Smith even before the controversial slap and everything else. I never liked Will Smith in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I thought he was a fucking idiot. I met Will Smith once. I thought he was a fucking jerk. He tried to literally freaking rise up the crowd, try to literally like hype him up. Never liked him as an actor, to be honest. I thought all his movies fucking suck. I've watched some of his movies. I watched Wild Wild West. I've seen the movie Focus. I think that was the last Will Smith movie I watched of his. I've seen Men in Black, something. I forget which one it was. I haven't seen all the Men in Black movies. I know that. I do remember watching one, and I said, "Oh, for fuck's sakes, this guy can't act worth shit." And I don't know why Hollywood still hires him. I don't know. And technically, I also thought he was a bad rapper. So, number 14, Rosie O'Donnell. Ooh, Rosie O'Donnell. What can you not say about her? Frick. Back in the 90s, I hated her. I couldn't stand her. I don't know what she does now. I'm glad she's off air. But in the 90s, she was everywhere. The Rosie O'Donnell show, and also the other thing that made me hate her the most is when she did the movie The Flintstones that was Betty. Like, why did you have to fucking ruin it? I don't like you in that movie. You're a terrible actress. Get off my screen. But John Goodman was good. Don't get me wrong. John Goodman was good in that movie. But, she was this freaking terrible actress. Number 13, Roseanne Barr. Like I just talked about John Goodman. Well, gotta talk about Roseanne in a way. Now, don't get me wrong. Roseanne Barr, the TV show, was good. It was a good TV show. I'm not going to lie and say it wasn't. But her, necessarily, I've actually have met Roseanne Barr once. She is a nasty bitch to be around, and she will literally let you have it, you know. And she's not really that nice to be around, and yeah. Uh, that's all I'm gonna say about her. Number 12, Megan Fox. Ugh. I met Megan Fox twice, and both times, snobby fucking bitch. That's all I'm gonna say about her. Snob fucking bitch. Like, yeah, she might literally look hot and everything else, but looks can be deceiving, and she's one that is. I heard that technically she's having a kid, so congratulations on her for having a kid and everything else. But man, I remember straight up that technically, like, Kelly was friends with Megan Fox. So I used to literally hang out with Kelly Osbourne and Megan, but I was like the third wheel, always. You know, I was like, I don't want to hang out with her. You know? So, yeah. Number 11, Machine Gun Kelly. Now, I don't actually never met Machine Gun Kelly. Never met her, Megan Fox's boyfriend. I just know he was in WWE 2K22, and I was kind of pissed off that he was a DLC character, knowing that technically you could have put anyone in the fucking game and you literally had to put him in. Like, he's never even been in a fucking wrestling match. You know? That pissed me off. It's not him personally, it's just that technically WWE decided to put him in a fucking wrestling game when he hasn't even been a wrestler. So it kind of pissed me off. So... Number 10, Katy Perry. Never met her. But I just hate that fucking song. I hate her fucking song, that Roar song. My mom loves it. I hate it. You know? And that's the honest truth. That's the only reason why I don't like her. Pretty much is because of that fucking song. I just can't stand that song. And it's nothing against her. You know? But that's it. Number 8, Ashton Kutcher. Now, I was a big fan of that semi-show, anyway, but Ashton Kutcher, after that semi-show, ruined a lot of fucking things I loved. I'm not gonna lie, he did. And I literally do not like you, Ashton Kutcher, for what you fucking did. Should you have taken the place of 2.5 Men? Nope. The show should have ended with Charlie Sheen. It shouldn't have been fucking episodes after episodes with fucking Ashton Kutcher. Because Ashton Kutcher sucked in those episodes. I don't know where in the hell do you think that you are a good actor. And that you're a better actor than Charlie Sheen. But at the time, Charlie Sheen was making how much? And you literally made nothing compared to him. You know? So, yeah. Number 7, Taylor Swift. I can't stand Taylor Swift, and I think every freaking person knows why. NFL, pretty much, has to be at every fucking Chiefs game. Every fucking game. You know? Oh, and also every fucking other game, it feels like, that has the Chiefs involved. Road or away. You know? And it's just making me goddamn sick seeing her. Like, football used to mean fucking football, not Taylor Swift. You know? Or, as I say it, she's buying the fucking refs. Yes, Taylor's buying the referees. Because how else do you think the Chiefs are winning every fucking game with her involved? So, yeah. That's number 7, and that's my rant about Taylor Swift. Number 6 is Rihanna. Just never been a fan of her music, in a way. I heard she's nice. A lot of people told me she was a nice person to meet. I never met her. I just don't like her music, in a way. Just like some other people, you know. So, I'm just going to literally skip through to number 5. Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber, I do know. And, honestly, I used to be a close friend of Justin Bieber's way back in the day. Way back in the day, when he was a kid. and I was a kid actually too. And this is before he met Usher. This is before he actually started YouTube and all that shit. You know, and he was a nice kid. Don't get me wrong. I actually knew his uncle, and that's how I met Justin Bieber. I knew his uncle. I can't remember his name. I think Stanley or Dave or something, something like that. But yeah, I knew his uncle, and we used to hang out. And then he became famous, and haven't talked to Justin Bieber since. To be honest, since he became famous, and that was probably like what, 06, 07, since I've talked to him. And yeah, we did hang out as kids. I remember literally freaking watching him go freaking ice skating. I watched him ice skate because I didn't know how to ice skate, so I watched him ice skate and everything else. And you know, yeah. Number 4. Now this person, I just don't like his voice. Pretty much, I don't hate the guy. Don't get me wrong, I have no hate for this guy. But he's just on this list because he sings while he talks, and it's very annoying to me. And that's Steven Tyler. Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. Oh man. Like, you could literally sit there and try to have a conversation with him, and he will sing half his freaking things. And it'll be like, oh, and he'll literally say sorry, and then he'll continue doing it, and it'll be like you would have to have a bottle of aspirin after literally having a conversation with Steven Tyler sometimes, because that's how bad it will get. You know? And that's the only reason why he's on the list. It's nothing personal against him. I actually don't mind the guy. It's just that I just don't like him singing every freaking thing. It gives me a headache. You know? Number 2, Tom Cruise. Met Tom Cruise once. Fucking jerk. In a way. I remember technically I've seen him at some movie premiere for Eyes Wide Shut. My mom literally took me to the movie premiere in a way because technically at the time she wanted me to be a fan of Tom Cruise. She was a fan of Tom Cruise, and she wanted me to be a fan of Tom Cruise. So she literally said straight up, well, what if I take you to meet the guy? Maybe you'll be a fan of him. I said, okay, fine. So she takes me to this movie premiere, and like, this guy was a fucking jerk towards everyone. You know? Him and Nicole Kidman gets in the freaking limo. He waves like this, like a freaking thing. You know? Has a big smile on his freaking face. Everyone's asking for an autograph. He's like, you know? And then takes off, and I'm like, you didn't even sign one goddamn autograph. Not one. You know? At least you could have took some time to at least sign one autograph or something. But no, just gets in his limo and takes off. With some white limo too, so yeah. And number 1, we're finally almost done this list. I think most people know who this is. I said it before. I'll say it again. Adam Sandler. I've never met Adam Sandler. I just don't like his movies. Never thought he was funny. You know, I tried to watch his movies. I seen parts of Happy Gilmore. I seen The Waterboy. I seen Mr. Deeds. I seen Big Daddy. I seen Little Nicky. I tried many times to literally like him because everyone used to tell me he's the most funniest freaking guy. You gotta watch this movie. And then when I watch his movie, I just freaking feel like I need to literally, like I said with Steven Tyler, a bottle of aspirin. I gotta get a bottle of aspirin and some Jack Daniels each time I try to sit through his fucking movies, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be that tough. You know? And yeah, that is my list of top 25 celebrities that I like and top 25 celebrities I hate. Now, you guys are wondering, when is my mom coming? My mom is coming next week to literally do her list. My mom's list is already done, guys. So she's coming next week. We're gonna get my mom in front of the camera to do her list, just like I did today. We're gonna get my mom. So yeah, I want to thank everyone for coming out. We had Strive. Who else? And anyone that's liked and subscribed. You know, I don't know how many people have liked and subscribed, but Thank you very much for doing that. But yeah, I'll see you guys next weekend with my mom and her list. Until then, take care, everyone. See ya.